Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your man D Train. Just thought I'd get on here and pontificate. But first, I gotta give a shout out. I hadn't heard this song in a while. And then Gabby and Hannah. Gabby and Hannah came in right at the end and they were like, yo, I got one for you, D Train. And it goes kind of like this. All right, that's it. Can we forget about the things I said when I was drunk? Didn't mean to call you that. I can't remember what was said or what you threw at me. Please tell me, please tell me why. My car is in the front yard and I'm sleeping with my clothes on. I came in through the window last night and you're gone, gone. It's no surprise to me, I am my own worst enemy. 'Cause every now and then I kick the living shit out of me. The smoke alarm is going off and there's a cigarette still burning. T, please tell me why. The car is in the front yard and I'm sleeping with my clothes on. I came in through the window last night. Tell me why, 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 why. Hey, I can't play it. 'Cause I can't play it and I can't play it. I can play that first part because it's like one note, but it's all good, dude. Hey, so okay, so this weekend that was awesome, man. I had some awesome singers, my awesomeness, awesome favorites. But yeah, it was Thanksgiving last week, and I know some people, some people had a long, I guess, semester, season, or whatever, and sometimes, you got to get back and see your family and and hug some people and share some stories and whatnot and I know the women's soccer team they were trying to stay in the game and I tell you what they came through and that's awesome, man. So I hope they can keep that train going. Um, I know they're trying to stay focused. I remember when I was working with the team back in the day. Uh, Thanksgiving was always kind of cool. If we were fortunate enough to make it to that point, we would have a dinner together, and that was always pretty cool. It's kind of like a family, a family um, type environment around your friends and teammates and whatnot. So that's cool. And then also they fired Larry Fedora. What was crazy about that is that Larry Fedora, when he came in, man, he was beating NC State, and because I remember that was one of those things that Butch Davis, he was like, oh, it's like another game, but you know, it always seemed like we lost to NC State, and then Larry Fedora came in. You got the Giovanni Bernard run at the end of the game to put us up. It's always a battle. And it kind of it's I don't look, man. I don't know enough about football to really get into like the X's and O's and what's good and who's this and that. But here's one thing I do know is that it's difficult to manage a lot of people, especially a lot of young people who have strong personalities uh and it's hard to do it for a long time. Uh and the greats have a system. um but at the same time, every great even has rough patches, and sometimes you wonder if it'd be just as good to keep a coach and say and stick with them. But a lot of times it seems like in football there seems to be more, I guess, turnover. A lot of people leave your core group, and then you have to reshuffle and figure out how to bring it back together. And then you have issues that come up in the with this with the within the school on the academic issues that they saying, the allegations and whatnot. And so it's tough. And I don't know what the formula is. Maybe I'm just a little softy. Oh, stick with the guy. He gave us some really good times and years and whatnot. And uh, but at the same time, I don't see. I'm not the business owner. You know what I'm saying? Like the business owner has a different perspective. He sees a lot more. He hears a lot more. That you know what I'm saying? It's different coming from the position I'm in, not knowing nothing. So uh, all I can do is speculate and prognosticate, if that's a word. But throughout that, you know, at the end of that, I mean, the Mac is back. And I'm old enough to remember when I was in school here at UNC. I don't know, anyway, when I was in school here at UNC, Mack Brown was the coach, and Dean Smith was still coaching, and we had the Natrone Means, the Bernardo Harris. Um, oh man, we had so many good players come through the system, and we had some really, really good years. Uh, I don't know what happened for him to leave. I don't know if he was recruited from Texas because of the success or things were going downhill or whatever. But my mind, I just remember we had some good teams. Marcus Jones was on some of them teams. OD, Oscar Davenport. Gosh, man, so many good players. It's hard. Jeff Saturday was in there, I think. Wasn't he in there? Hey, I do know this. Greg Ellis, he was in my dorm. He stayed in my dorm E house. I think he was on the baseball side though, because I was on no, he was on the volleyball side. I was on the baseball side. 324 E house, you know. But I just remember that dude was tall. He was thinner, coming out of high school. I think he was a freshman when I was a freshman, and he was in the elevator, and I was like, and he was carrying these two big things, canisters of like whatever it is in there, some kind of like powder or something, right? And I asked him, I was like, "Hey man, is that work?" And he just looked at me. He was like, "They say it does." Going up and down them elevators, man. Um, and yeah, he seemed like a cool dude, but then he put on some more bigness and just went to what, Dallas Cowboys for a minute. Jeff Saturday went. So yeah, man, it's hey, it is cold out here. So I apologize for the shakiness in my voice. If I sound like I'm like, "Ugh." But we had a great week. Um, some ups and downs. The loss wasn't, you know, a good thing, but at the same time, it was a crazy game. We came back at the end. We just came up a little bit short. Uh, and goodness, man, I there was a new quarterback. Um, so I guess Nathan Elliott, did he get hurt or something? Goodness gracious, man, I don't even know what's going on. So I apologize for not keeping up, but you know that's that's that. But to the title of this um of this hangout right here, I had a guy come in and he sang this song, right? And then later on, and then he sang a few more songs, right? And it was great, man. And the vibe was awesome. You know what I'm saying? It was high energy, and things were just like crazy. And I think it was around the end of the night, and he came up and he said, "You are a great American treasure." I tell you what, I was like, "Wow, man, that's a pretty good compliment," you know. Because I remember just, certain people say things, and I really appreciate it. Not to say that other people don't say things, but you know, so every once in a while, somebody give you a compliment like that. Like I remember this older uh this older black guy came in, and he said, "I want to sing a song." I was like, "All right, man, come on, what you want to sing?" And he signed up, got his song, had a great time. I guess he had been there for a minute, checking things out. And he came up and he said, "You are good at what you do." And you know what? I was like, "Thank you, because I don't even know what it is I do, man." He said, "That's okay. Whatever it is you do, you're good at it." And I was I appreciated that. And then so I was telling my wife, I was like, "Man, I got a really good compliment the other night. My kids were there, and I told them what the guy said." And she said, "Was he drinking?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." I mean, hello. I work at a bar, dude. And then she goes like, "So you think he was telling the truth?" And I said, "Well, you know what, baby? My dad, my dad told me this one time. He was like, sometimes, he didn't say sometimes. I'm saying this. I'm gonna add my own little creative, poetic, license in here." He said, "A drunk man's words is a sober man's thoughts." And I know sometimes that ain't true, but sometimes things get a little cloudy. But I said sometimes people will open or feel a little bit more able to say what's really going on, and they'll tell you the truth a lot of times too. when they had a, had some had a maybe had a little something to go along with it, and then she turns to me and she goes, "Well, I hope so and so's daddy uh drinks or gets drunk before he goes to court so he could start telling the truth." I'm like, what in the hell just happened here? I just had a good story, and then you just she like, where did that come from, dude? So I need to go do some investigating. But hey man, I appreciate y'all's time. This is D Train. I hope to see y'all on Sunday. And yeah, so therefore, on the other hand, nevertheless, word and peace.